Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy President's Day. I don't know anybody that really celebrates President's Day, but it is a federal holiday, bank holiday, so a lot of people are off today. Switching it up, going old school with the IG Live today. Figured mix it up a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Daniel. Welcome, sir. Good to see you on here. A true honor. Great posing coach for the people that are in here. Right there. Let's wave back. He's got the 2 thumbs up from me. He's doing it right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Like I said, a rare cardio Q&A on Instagram today. I've been doing them on YouTube. Everybody says they like the YouTube lives better. But I figured let's mix it up a little bit today. Why not? PJ, do I know any bodybuilders that are on Ozempic? Myself, personally, no, I don't. I heard, I did a podcast a few months back with Milos Tarshev and those guys, and Milos was talking about guys incorporating this stuff into their protocols now. So, obviously, back when I was competing a long time ago, we didn't have any of these GLP-1 drugs, and if we did, I would tell you guys would probably use them. The thing about bodybuilders is when you're on that extreme level of bodybuilding, there are a lot of guys, and I'm not speaking for all of them, that will use literally any edge that you could think of. And I can tell you one of the things that I used back in the day that a lot of people were scared to use was DNP, and honestly, it worked awesome for me. I've never had anything burn fat the way that DNP did. Now, there were some weird side effects that went with it, but I used a pretty conservative dose. And I remember having this conversation with my good buddy Evan Centopani, saying, I can't believe guys use DNP. Do you really think a lot of guys use DNP? And I told him straight up, I was like, honestly, I'm not going to say names, but pretty much everybody I know is doing it. We're all sharing it. So now, to answer this question, I would say that there are probably guys using semaglutide and tirzepatide. The better choice of the two is tirzepatide. It actually works from 2 different pathways. Personally, here's why I would have a hard time with it. Eating enough food was always a challenge for me. So anything that would blunt my appetite, I would kind of steer away from. So from what I understand, there are some guys using it deep into their prep because there is a profound, hunger aspect that gets wiped out with it. I've also spoken on this subject plenty of times. I'm not against Ozempic. I'm not against any of these things. When utilized the right way, they can be life-changing, especially if you're morbidly obese. That being said, I think that most bodybuilders wouldn't necessarily need this in their protocol with the other things that are going on, but I would assume there are probably some guys using stuff like this. By the way, if I miss any questions, just fire them back in and I'll answer them. I just kind of tend to be a little long-winded with my answers. It doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. What's up, brother? What are your views on Anadrol? So, when I was very young, I would say mid-20s, I had tremendous, great results on Anadrol. For starters, pre-contest, I've used Anadrol. I've actually used Anadrol and D-ball different occasions, straight up to shows. I've been in fantastic condition, especially if you like to train heavy. It'll keep that strength up. Now, as far as Anadrol goes, Anadrol kind of beat my stomach up. I had a lot of issues with just acid, gastric problems with the Anadrol, which kind of made me not like it as much as D-ball, which perhaps because I could take little doses sprinkled throughout the day, it wasn't the same. But if you're training for strength, powerlifting, Anadrol is going to make you very, very strong. Very strong. They're a little bit more liver toxic, but that's kind of the price you pay when you get into oral steroid use. I always used my orals in short blasts, which is still the way that I recommend people doing them. There's a lot of strange advice that goes around the internet these days on oral steroids. particularly with Anavar or oxandrolone, the chemical name. I see guys talking about doing these low pre-workout doses so you can stay on a little bit for a long time. That truly doesn't make sense for my personal school of thought. But as far as Anadrol goes, what I would do is, and I've tried it many different ways, but what I would do is I would take a 50 milligram pill, get a little pill cutter, cut it in half, and do half AM and then the other half about 12 hours later. Now, if you want to go balls out with it, you can pop that bad boy an hour or two before you go to the gym or when you wake up in the morning, so there's more of a peak concentration in your system, which will make you very aggressive. But I just noticed myself with as far as the stomach issues and everything else, to split my doses a little bit more. Hey PG, did anyone try giving you problems in prison due to your popularity? Well, the funny thing is, for the most part, nobody really knew who I was in prison except the guards. That's the funny thing. So when I was in county jail, my first couple weeks in prison, I was in county jail, which is terrible. I don't recommend that place for anybody ever. County jail is terrible. Fortunately, I was only there for a couple weeks. Then I went to the detention center, also terrible, but I was locked up. COVID, if you guys ever watch the show 60 Days In, and you see all the people that had already gone to prison that went back undercover in prison, they all went in during COVID, and they were all tapping out, like, get me out of here, getting me out of here, because it was so much different than what they were used to being locked up so that was all I knew. For my first few months, I was in a constant lockdown as if I was in a maximum security, death row type of place. They fed us through a tray. They let us out for an hour to get a quick shower and a 7-minute phone call, and then you were back locked up. So, honestly, I couldn't tell you really much about what anybody thought of me in those experiences. And once I got to the camp, it was dramatically different. The camp is the lowest level security. You can walk around. There's no violent offenders there. I had one issue with one guy over a haircut. I've talked about it on podcasts. I was very, very fortunate to not get thrown off the compound. I learned my lesson. And I kept my mouth shut and stayed out of the way after that. But I was very, very blessed with the guards being really, really cool to me and wanting to pick my brain on working out and steroids, actually, quite a bit. And had a lot of really cool COs. The female COs are a lot different than the male COs. You can talk to anybody that's gone to prison. I'm going to tell you they're going to probably break it down the same way as me. You got a lot of big, fat, black, lesbian, mean COs. And they're tough. They're tough to win over. And most of the guys were cool. Back to the Anadrol question. Listen, the most I've ever done is 100 milligrams a day. Listen, I had powerlifting buddies that these dudes were crazy. They were taking 3 to 5 Anadrol today. I don't know how they did it, because personally, 100 milligrams of Anadrol gave me crazy anxiety. Like I was like crawling out of my skin. It's strong. It's extremely androgenic. You're like, I think 50 milligrams is plenty to do the job. At this stage in life, there's no reason for me to ever mess with Anadrol. Now, I would absolutely keep messing with oxandrolone if I had the access to it, or if I was in really, really good shape, guys, and I wanted to harden up a little bit extra for, let's say, a photo shoot or something, I've utilized halotestin very effectively plenty of times. Halotestin has a bad rap for being so, hepatotoxic, and I've actually done blood work on many different aspects of it to prove that, honestly, drinking multiple times a week is going to wreck your liver a lot faster than a little bit of halotestin. But that's a whole nother discussion. Welcome. Hey, Graham is here. Dad bod Mikey. My thoughts on Clen? If so, when and how much? Have I used it? Yes. I don't like it. I've had a lot of different experiences with Clen. I can tell you guys that when I was coaching, I've coached literally not even hundreds, thousands of people. I coached for years at a very high level, mostly women actually, but less than 50% of my athletes used Clen. I typically would give the more seasoned ones the option if they really had to do it. Some people just really like Clen. Myself personally, I'm very sensitive to it, and even in very low dosing, I would find what happens is the tricky thing with clenbuterol is it's if you have real clenbuterol, it's such an aggressive bronchodilator that what happens is it can really drop your blood pressure, and then your body, to counteract that, wants to bring it back, so your heart races to bring it back up. And what happens for me is I really don't like anything that makes me feel very anxious and panicky like that, and even in very low doses. So personally, I feel that ECA stack is more beneficial, and it's less harsh on your system once we start getting into these oral fat burners that we can take. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Haven't popped on here in quite a while. If you're wondering where I've been doing them all on YouTube. I've put out quite a few notifications about it the past few weeks. People seem to like it on YouTube a lot more. I don't know. Am I allowed to give advice for sourcing supplement manufacturers? I'm not. As per the rules to my probation, I'm not allowed to do anything with supplements, period. Everything I speak about in here is going to be from personal experiences. I will be back in the supplement industry once I'm done with my probation. I'll be back, CEO of Blackstone Labs, the thing I've done my whole life. So it's really the main thing that I want to do, what I love to do, but extremely, extremely strict guidelines here. Elephant Mark says, when you're young, you're full of piss and nothing matters. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? What is my relationship with Aaron Singerman now? We've been through a lot, but all the bad stuff between us from the past, I think both of us, when you go through an experience as honestly horrible as we did with the prison and being in the crazy detention center locked up for so long and everything else, so few people are ever going to go through that it kind of, I don't see how it couldn't really open your eyes to a lot of things. So at this point now, I wish him the best. He was my best friend for the majority of my adult life, and I missed having that, to be honest with you. And it seems like he's doing great. I knew that he would, and that's it. We're really legally not even allowed to talk to each other with the probation, but I see what he's doing. I follow him on IG. It looks like he's kicking ass like I expected that he would. So, I'm happy for him. Is it a natural test booster if we're going back and talking about Anadrol and whatnot? No, absolutely not. It's about as far from natural as you can get. Kyle Gibson, what's up? New Fairfield in the house. Old Connecticut crew, I love it. What's up, guys? What's up, Clay? Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. There's a new test booster. It's like steroids and something. Well, if Tony Hughes was talking about it, there's a good chance it was a SARM. If you get the name, I could share my experiences or my opinion on it. Good morning, guys. Good morning. So Clay Russell says Insta is way better than YouTube. I'm telling you, Clay, it seems like everybody else likes the other one. I don't know why. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Transformix. Love Transformix. Always keeping me laughing. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Nathan says PJ for President. Todd, what's up, guys? A rare IG live today. I've been doing them over on YouTube every day. I will say there's something about YouTube that it's easier to read the questions when they come in. Why is Aaron allowed to be involved in the supplement industry and I cannot? Well, two reasons. Number one, Aaron has a complete separate company, Redcon, which has nothing to do with the Blackstone case. So what they did is they tried Blackstone Labs as a company and then all of us individually. So the company has a corporate felony. We all have personal felonies. According to federal guidelines, probation time Anybody that has felonies from the same case can't associate. So Blackstone has a felony, I have a felony, we can't be associated in any way whatsoever. Now, we tried to get around that, but there was one thing that separated me, and also James Bacuzzi, from everybody else in the case. We did not cooperate with the government. So for me, not cooperating with the government in any way, they treat you a lot different, man. They treat you a lot different. You would think I murdered somebody. The government looked at me as I'm the ringleader, which Aaron and I were equal ringleaders. They looked at me as the ringleader and the one who refused to talk, refused to do anything. So I'm the bad one. And so I have what's called special conditions to my probation, which are different from anybody else. So in my special conditions of my probation, I'm not allowed to own or operate any business, period. So I couldn't even start a car wash outside if I want to. The other one that's very, very messed up, and I tried to fight it in court, got shot down. Prosecutors showed up for it, was I'm not allowed to work in dietary supplements in any way whatsoever. So I couldn't even go work part-time at GNC if I wanted to. They are so serious about it that if a gym sells supplements, I can't be in that gym. Oh, and clomiphene. We can talk about enclomiphene if you guys want to talk about enclomiphene. Oh, Miller 312, the cookie goddess. I never do them here anymore. I do them on YouTube, and I am late. That's why I decided to do a special one over here today. So I'll talk really quick about enclomiphene, and then I'll talk about the S4 question that I've seen come in. So enclomiphene is actually a fertility drug. And it's actually used with women quite a bit. Now, men can absolutely take it. The reason that enclomiphene is talked about so much more lately is that Clomid, old school Clomid, has some aggressive side effects. It can make you tired, can make you break out a little bit. It's great though. It's a great drug. So one of the metabolites, the key metabolite in Clomid, is enclomiphene, which basically does the good stuff without the bad side effects. So that's why a lot more doctors are prescribing that now. But my advice, guys, is if you're trying to have, whoa, lost the phone. If you're trying to have children, then it absolutely has its place in your protocol. But if you're not, and you're just worried about, basic hormone manipulation, I don't think it's necessary. I think that stuff should be saved and utilized for when you are trying to do those things. So the only time I ever used Clomid or enclomiphene was when I was young, during post-cycle therapies, coming off of the gear. Once I retired from competitive bodybuilding back in 2012, I took a break where I came off for a few months, felt terrible, decided I'm going on HRT for the rest of my life. Big advocate of that. And I didn't touch it for all those years. When I got out of prison and Marissa and I wanted to, conceive a child, I started utilizing HCG and Clomid and enclomiphene. I alternated them, to be honest with you. And within 6 months, she was pregnant. It did what I wanted it to do. Have I tried S4? Yes. I have not used it as a standalone. I have used it combined with other SARMs. I've used it with S23, nice combination. And I've used it also with RAD 140, nice combination. Typically though, overall, I don't think as a standalone S4, I'm not as impressed with what I've seen on it. My favorite SARMs, if I were to go through everything that I've done, are S23 and probably RAD 140. Let's see. Tito says your dad helped me with sub issue a couple of years back. He's an amazing guy. He made a custom for life. Good, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate you saying that. Brandon Rogers, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, if we're talking about the clomid and clomiphene, it can make you hella emotional. Now, I'll tell you, guys, you know, on the woman's side of things, and shout out to Tony Huge, he was the one who actually piqued my interest in this, because before I had started to focus on getting Marissa pregnant, I was talking about my plans for my protocol, and he said everybody, I was very enlightened by this. He said everybody focuses on the guy, but they never focus on the woman, the things that a woman can do to get pregnant. And he was like, and you can absolutely boost her chances, her fertility chances, like, you know, your possibility here of dropping more eggs and whatnot by using Clomid starting on the second to last day of her period for 5 days, 50 milligrams a day for 5 days. And I'll tell you, we did that. I'm not saying that it was from this, because there was other things that we did too. He also told me about using Mucinex during ovulation. The second month after that, she got pregnant. So very, very interesting side of it. It's a late one for me, and I'm also over here on IG randomly. Chris and Fit, good to see you on here. But I figured I'd mix it up today for President's Day. I went to the gym a little later, had a badass leg workout with Marissa. She's getting ready to pop soon, still going hard in the gym. Baby's gonna be here very soon. Do you have to be off all gear to do it? No, absolutely not, Mark, definitely not. In fact, I did not come off of testosterone when we conceived. And I'll tell you, after being off for 2 years, I think that was a big factor in how it all worked out. But being off for 2 years and then trying to have a lot of sex to have a baby is rough, guys. You're exhausted, you're tired. So having that HRT dose of testosterone back in made me feeling like more of a man again. Made a huge difference. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Schultz Security. Chris, if that you're a free agent, uh-oh. That could be good, that could be bad. I hope you're doing all right up there, brother. Current thoughts on nootropics or brain supplements? There's a lot of great nootropics out there. So, back in the day, man, shout out to Gorilla Chemist, Brian Moscow. We were doing so many experiments, personal experiments, shall I say, because they were with nootropics. And I'm not talking your everyday alpha GPC stuff. I'm talking like the good stuff that you can't get anymore. Basically anything in the racetam family, phenylpiracetam, oxiracetam, concoctions that we were mixing up, adraphenil. People will remember way back in the day, my former company, Blackstone Labs, we had a nootropic product called Razor's Edge that we killed it with, but had to take it off the market because all that stuff was being banned. Now there's a new wave of things now that are, I think, going to be considered safer for everyday use. A lot of the stuff in the mushroom family, for instance, will have great nootropic effect on the brain. But there's also a lot of people are talking about methylene blue. Can't say that I've experimented with, but I've read a lot of the positive data on it. Have friends that really like it. Have friends that have used it religiously and really like it. Blame your genetics. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Best diet / training to drop body fat very fast. Listen, the one you're gonna stick to. The one you're gonna stick to. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's more than one way to skin a cat, which is the weirdest saying ever. I don't know where that saying came from. My grandma used to say that. I don't know. Skinning a cat is crazy to me, but I've done it so many different ways, guys. I've done keto diets. I've done carb cycling. You know, when I was with Palumbo was all about keto back in the day. You can lose weight real fast. on keto. I've done crazy stuff where I pulled all my fats and carbs because you want to get it done fast. The more extreme you're going to go, the better. You just have to remember, the more extreme you go, typically you hit a point where you're going to start feeling really bad. But if you know how to do this, if you know how to manipulate your food, you can drop a lot fast if you put it all in together the right way. At the end of the day, it comes down to calories in, calories out. It really does. Now, you could manipulate the way you feel, controlling your insulin production, things like that, of course, which is why I think a lot of men in particular do really well with ketogenic diets. But you could also get into intermittent fast. There's a lot of ways. I've done it so many ways. It really comes down to what you're going to commit to and go the hardest with. Chris, a fit it is. There's a lot of dirty people in it too, man. It's cutthroat, that's for sure. Todd says he gets his energy from listening to Cher. That's good. I like that. I like Cher. Shout out to Cher wherever she is out there. Mike and Don, what's up? Carolina, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Dave, hello. Hello, everyone. Dom, what's up, guys? We're doing a little rare cardio Q&A on Instagram today. I'll be back on YouTube tomorrow. I have a new YouTube video coming out tonight. Back workout with Chris Luke. Let's see. Todd says, on a serious note, my gut health has been very bad for a few months and I actually gained weight because my digestion stalled. I'm trying to get it under control. That can be very, very frustrating. And listen, sometimes when you have a situation like that going on, you have to go on a little bit of an elimination protocol and start removing things. It can be very expensive to go and get a full allergy panel and see where your food sensitivities and things like that are. I've done it before over the years. Different people have different sensitivities and allergies to food. But it could be as simple as that. Sometimes I suggest when people have issues with digestion to start breaking down their diet and make it simple and start removing things that are easy to perhaps assume are screwing you up, like gluten. But listen, different people have allergies to different things, man. You might not be able to eat Brussels sprouts. They could wreck your stomach and screw you up for the whole day. A little easy thing that you can do is you can supplement with glutamine. High doses of glutamine are actually really good for your gut. There's a lot of people out there that want to bash glutamine and say that it doesn't do all the things for recovery and all those studies are bogus and this and that, but it actually has a profound effect on gut health. And I'm telling you, not expensive. You can either break down your doses throughout the day or take some big blasts. I used to take 20 grams of glutamine after my workouts and then another 10 grams before bed. Casey Jones, good to see you. Listen, you guys just got to come over and subscribe to my YouTube page. Subscribe to my YouTube and come over there. I do it over there now. I'm popping on here today because it's President's Day and it's a holiday and I'm on that holiday schedule with my wife. Such a funny holiday. Holden, good morning guys. Good morning. It's cardio Q&A. Ask me anything and I'll answer it, or I'll do my best at least. We're gonna go wash the dogs out of this. After this, we got some stuff to do around here today. We have a checkup tomorrow for Marissa and the baby. Hoping that the checkup goes well. So just to share with you guys, Marissa's amniotic fluid's been low. So they want to check her every 48 hours. And the little guy's breached. So he's going to have to come out early. Thoughts on prebiotic collagen? Listen, collagen is a fine supplement to take. It's a great supplement to take. Do I think it's life-changing? No, but there's a lot of benefit to collagen if you use it consistently. And that's why at Blackstone we brought it out. I would never have let Blackstone do anything like that if it wasn't something that I stand by. Am I still mentoring Jason Genova? I wish that I could do videos with Jason, but his mom will not let him do anything fitness-related videos at all. He can only do coin videos. I did see him the other day for his birthday, which is coming up, by the way. The 22nd is his actual real birthday. Bring back Trojan Horse. Listen, if you guys like Trojan Horse, I'm gonna give you some inside information. If you like Trojan Horse, get over there and buy the rest of the FLA2. The FLA-2, that's literally the exact same product of Trojan Horse, and I believe it's going to be discontinued, and there's not that much of it left. I overheard some things in passing, and there may also be a sale going on over there. Like I said, I don't work for the company. I just pay attention to things that I hear. Because FLA2 is literally Trojan Horse with a different label on it. That's it. Holden Outlaw, good question on the L-carnitine injections. If not a waste, where's the best place to get it, best place to inject? So one thing I have to be very careful about here is talking about where to get that stuff. I don't know. But you can find it. I promise you, it's easy to find. And I love injectable L-carnitine. Love it. All you need is 500 milligrams a day. There are companies that make a 600 milligram per milliliter injectable. I know people that do it multiple times a day, which I'm not against. But as far as what I think you need, 500 milligrams intramuscular, pre-workout, pre-cardio, one or the other. And I think it is a great addition to your supplement regime. Now, if you want to take oral L-carnitine, you have to take a lot more to get the same effect. And I specifically would recommend you look and make sure that it is in tartrate form. But I am a big fan of the injectable L-carnitines. Good seeing you too, Todd. Very good seeing you. Start taking some digestive enzymes if you're not, buddy. Todd, a couple simple things that you can do and see how it works for your digestion, see how it helps is, if you're not doing this, supplement with activated charcoal, very inexpensive. A very inexpensive plan for you. Supplement with the activated charcoal, and there's a lot of great digestive enzyme products by different companies out there. The one that I typically like to use is by a company called Now Nutrition, called Super Enzymes. I like the formula that they have. And start taking that stuff with your meals, and I hope that it helps you out in the digestion department. Jill, good morning. Good to see you on here. Good to see you guys on here. Appreciate you guys jumping on. I never do these on here anymore. I'm always on YouTube now. Trying to get that going, since they won't let me do anything on Blackstone. Oh my God, it's so funny. I love when, now that I have this fancy Apple Watch, it cracks me up. It warns me, loud environment, sound levels hit 90 decibels. Around 30 minutes at this level can cause temporary hearing loss. My own voice is dangerous. How funny is that? Somebody told me that when I'm on Cardio Q&A, it sounds like I'm cutting wrestling promos. I can't help it. I'm loud and I'm excited, and that's how I do these. I can't help it, guys. I know, Jill, it's going to be so soon. It's going to be so soon. Literally less than a month. A couple more weeks. And a little baby guy is going to be here. Very exciting. But I'll probably stay on for another minute or two. So, Jay Ludovich, so enclomiphene is not really similar to SARMs, although I could see why it would be characterized that way. If anything, it's really more like a SERM, which would be a select estrogen receptor modulator, which is different than a select androgen receptor modulator. But clomiphene is interesting in the way its binding ability is very, very interesting in the way that, yes, it will boost your testosterone. It won't do the negative things that regular Clomid can do. It can make you more fertile. But that being said, you have to use a fair amount of it to achieve what you could achieve with injectable stuff. I think a lot of people on research chem sites that are selling enclomiphene will probably hype it up to be more effective than it really is. And I get it. Everybody wants to sell their stuff. But when it comes down to maximizing what you can get, regular testosterone injections are the top of the top. There's nothing that's close to it. You can add the other stuff in. Like I said, I used enclomiphene to help Marissa get pregnant. It'll also, a little fun fact, enclomiphene will make you blow huge loads. If you're interested in your load volume, again, that goes back to the fertility aspect of it. The orgasms are certainly powerful on enclomiphene. But again, if I were to choose, I will stick to my injectable testosterone. Now listen, the time may come where we decide that we want to make another baby. And if that's the case, I'll put the enclomiphene back in. Phil with Franco says he already does. Listen, if you're already blowing huge loads, you might want to be careful with the enclomiphene. You might hose her down. Cobra Commander Jim, what do I think about Sam's first show? Pro material. Yeah, absolutely. So everybody's talking about Sam Sulek today. And maybe it's because I'm old and I missed all this Sam Sulek craze while I was in prison. It wasn't as big a deal to me. I'm a lot more interested in seeing what's going on with the Arnold, with the open guys. But that being said, I looked at all the stuff. He got in very good condition, very, very good condition. I would say if I wanted to critique him, I'd spend a little bit more time practicing the posing. But most people don't pose good their first show. Most people don't pose good their first show. But he actually did a really good job. His condition was very damn good for a first show. He looked to me like he probably dieted really hard as far as the low calories and sucked himself down to where he looked a little bit flat. I also think that he wasn't flexing his legs all the way in a lot of the shots, because you could see when he did flex his legs that they were peeled. But in a lot of the still images, you don't see that. I saw some HD stuff where he was in very good shape. So we'll see who shows up at the Arnold. Typically that show has a lot of really good international competitors. But if he practices his posing for the next couple weeks, figures that all out, I think he'll have a good shot. Here's the thing, man, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of people in real life. A lot of people in real life. I'm going to tell you this. I don't even have to go back and talk about Lee Priest and guys like that. What Cody Montgomery looked like when he won the USA's at barely 20 years old. The kid was a 3-time teenage champion. That Cody Montgomery would absolutely destroy this Sam Sulek. And it's no disrespect. The kid did a good job. He did a really good job. But to call him a phenom, no, I mean, listen, there's a lot of guys that have been doing this at a very high level for a long time. He looked very good. He did a good job. He really did. But go look at what Cody Montgomery was, the youngest USA winner of all time. Won the teenage championship 3 years in a row, and then did USA's, won the overall in his first shot. Insane looking. And he did it at only 5'8" or 5'9" and about 220, 225 pounds, shredded. More aesthetic, better condition, rounder. So seeing somebody like that, I'm not going to be impressed. I've also seen young Keon Pearson, you know what I mean? Which was completely mind-blowing in real life. So much, much different. But again, he did a great job. J. Ludovico 92, enclomiphene is not natural. It is not a natural product. You don't want to take, if you're trying to stay as natural as possible, then you don't want to take in clomiphene. It is a fertility drug. Now, I will also warn, be careful when you look at things, guys. People take the names of drugs and they tweak them a little bit to sell products. So there could be a spelling change there, not sure, and it could be something else. But actual enclomiphene, not Clomid and clomiphene, they're both fertility drugs. You're not natural if you're doing that. Absolutely not. You definitely can't order it on Amazon. So, you remember when you discovered Kevin? All right, guys. I'm going to probably start getting up out of here. 40 minutes in. We got to go wash the dogs. I appreciate you guys coming in here. Keon, yes. Listen, young Keon was mind-blowing. He's still mind-blowing, but seeing him young and actually natural and how good he already was. PJ, what is the best supplement to get crazy libido? Well, you know, elevated testosterone leads to elevated libido. But a lot of that is your mindset also. So you boost testosterone, you're going to boost libido. You said you want to stay as natural as possible, so you're going to want to look at a natural testosterone booster, something like Apex Male, and keep it basic. Good questions today, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in here. I appreciate you guys coming in here. Are you ever looking for editors, content creators for the team? So remember, I'm not allowed to be part of Blackstone Labs right now. But if you're interested in talking to those guys, just DM the Blackstone Labs Instagram page. You can also DM Christopher Luke, who runs all the athletes, and talk to those guys that are my good friends. They're family to me. And they can answer any of that stuff. I got a couple more years before I'm allowed back over there. Anyway, good session today, guys. I'm going to be back on YouTube tomorrow. I appreciate you guys jumping in. Please go subscribe to my YouTube. Come on to the YouTubes. I got a new video tonight coming out at 6 o'clock, back training. I love you guys all. I appreciate you. God bless all of you. Peace out, bye.